Is it possible or realistic to obtain a design patent with the USPTO for a product like a form-fitting silicone cover for a portable audio device that was patented by someone else? Interesting.
Hmm.
New product cover follows the contours of an existing design, but differs in color, texture, and several other characteristics.
This is
Wow,
a great question.
you got to be real careful here, I think. Um, you
Secret
want
counsel,
to.
maybe an opinion, maybe an infringement opinion.
I think the first order of business would be to make sure that you're looking at the product. If it's a specific product, let's just say a classic example might be AirPods, right? It's an AirPod cover. I'm imagining that. Okay, let's use that as an example. Apple's got several patents, both utility and design, covering the AirPod Pro, right? The actual structure, the way that it looks three-dimensionally from their own design. And I think if you're going to go produce a product that's kind of the inverse of that design, kind of like the cover, the anti-design, you'd want to make sure that you are not going to be infringing. I think to approach that, it'd be the first time I think I've ever done it, but I think to offer an infringement opinion on that shape, so long as it's not going to be anything that even looks like an AirPod or the actual device that's patented. And so you'd have to have it. You'd be disclaiming obviously anything underneath, anything looking like an AirPod. It would
Right.
just be the cover. And so I think as long as it remains a cover, it's possible. But again, to get a patent, you've got to be able to show that it's novel and not
Right.
an obvious version of something that came before it. And I think the fact that have knowledge of the actual shape that you're forming it around, that design has been out there. You'd have to show some other way, three-dimensionally, that you're changing
Mm,
that design substantially, so that it has other elements, folds, flaps, ridges, different type of aesthetic than what's underneath it. Otherwise, it is
sure.
purely prior art.
Well, what about this? So JD, like I'm thinking just of the patent drawings that we've looked at in the past. You have the solid lines, which is what you're claiming as a
Yeah.
feature of the patent, right? And then you have the dotted lines. Would potentially the inside like design, look or be in dotted lines essentially because it, is not being claimed? And if so, does that potentially get around the design patent? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, you would not want to. So by not claiming, you would have it in dash lines. I think it's valuable to show the environment. In a
Mm,
design patent, that's all you own is the drawings.
right.
And so
See.
clearly showing at least one embodiment where how you would put that silicon cover, on is important.
Yeah.
But no, you're by no way saying it's only for that one product. It's just a one embodiment. I think as long as what was in solid black line, based on some research we would hopefully do, you've got some ability to demonstrate that you've got novel features or elements.
Sure.
And if you think you do, I think it's perfectly fine. And one other cool, interesting, maybe not so cool for this person asking the question, but the patent office will issue a patent on a novel design, but it might infringe, let's say, this other
Sure.
product. And so you got to be careful. What are you getting a patent on? Can you commercialize it? The patent office is not going to do an infringement opinion for you.
Yeah, it's the same on the trademark side, right? I think clients often confuse the registration process with the infringement process,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So registration, like different standard as compared to the litigation side, generally a
Yeah.
lower standard, to be completely
Yeah.
honest.
Kind of somewhat off the cuff answer is I don't think there's going to be a lot of trouble in terms of infringement. I mean, there's a lot of those type of devices. Think of all the cell phone covers and third party
Oh
accessories.
yeah,
And as long as it's not actually you're not selling it as as an audio device, it's a purely a cover, an attachment, an accessory. Um,
hmm
I think you're going to be okay.
yeah. I would think from like a I don't know, public policy standpoint, you'd want folks to be able to register these types of designs, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think there are. I mean, I'm not in the industry, but I'm sure there are. You always see those leaked Apple updates. When the new iPhone's coming out, because the
Oh
people that
yeah,
make.
I heard at CES someone had like a Nintendo Switch too.
Sure, yeah. I mean, there's all these kind of developers that or accessory makers that actually will get advance notice of what the dimensions will be, so they can start making those new designs for the covers. And there's a whole industry out there like it, but it does rely on some level of trust and
Mm.
confidentiality. Um, but it's human nature to.
Hey, I got a quick story to tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
So we have a client at Bold, who I spoke with a little bit earlier this month. He had a business years ago, and he went to market, created a brand, right? Was successful in that brand, and then slowly kind of lost interest in it, but still maintained some, websites and things like that. Well, someone in China took his brand and all his images and logo, pictures, all that sort of stuff, reopened the store on Amazon and has been running the store,
Whoa,
selling hundreds of thousands of products.
that's crazy.
Crazy, right?
Whoa.
So yeah, so we're gonna be dealing with that, which is really interesting. But I've never seen such a brazen ripoff of a brand before. We're trying to figure out what to do and if it's worth investing in the legal resources necessary to, potentially get the Amazon store back.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Right.
that would be pretty cool for him. If you
It
could
would
get
be.
that storefront transferred back to him.
But there's likely no recovery of damages or who knows what.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be really hard to potentially, file a lawsuit against someone in China, right here in the United States. I mean, you could get a default judgment. You could probably get the money from the Amazon account. There's like an Amazon account where they keep basically the last 6 weeks worth of sales.
Yeah.
So you can probably get that from damages, but that's about it.
Okay. Well, it'd be cool to kind of hear how that shakes out.
Yeah, I'll be curious too. I really hope he wants to move forward with us because that'd be a fun project.
Yeah.